Hi, I am Vidit, and this is how I learned to create games. I am from Dehradun, and I have graduated in 2019 from Graphic University as a computer science engineer. And I wanted to become a game developer since I like playing games. So my first game that I remember was Hot Wheels, and it was in class 8. And from class 8, there was my favorite games were Hot Wheels, GDS and India's Vice City, and Counter Strike. So these kind of games I've played. The first game from which I thought that I want to make my career into game development was Call of Duty. So it was a first-person shooter game that I have played first time. So the basic thing I like about is it was an adventurous game, and the talk in between they were doing like Roger's dad and the other things and the shooting and changing the guns. So I always used to think that how they are performing these actions. So at that time, I searched in internet. It was I think in ninth class when I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. So from that time, I just keep researching that how they are made, and it was kind of a fun for me. So that's why I thought that my future will be in game development, and it would be pretty much interesting. As I told you, that I wanted to become a game developer since childhood. It was in class 8. So I have asked my teachers that how can I become a game developer and what courses I have to do. So they told me that in 11th and 12th you have to do PCM. So because physics and maths is always used in game development. So I took that in 11th and 12th. But my parents were not supporting me at that time in the game development field because it was a new for them. So they told me that directly take a bachelor's in computer science so that you can have more options. Then I have done some research that from bachelor's in computer science, when I will know a little bit about programming and other things, I will get into game industry. So I opted for that. And during my college days, I talked with the professors that how can I be into the game industry because at the end they were not teaching any specific related course to them. So they told me that college is just for a basic things that you should know. Everything matters on your own. You have to build your skills by yourself. So I researched in internet, take some Udemy courses. So I searched some courses regarding Unity because Unity is the common a startup for the game developers, and it is the best 2D platform that I have heard. So I searched several courses in Udemy. So the basic one was, and the high rated was, I think, the ultimate game development course was named like this only. So in that, they have told the basic things and have developed a game, a space shooter. I think if anyone will search on internet, the first one will be there. But it was not proper regarding the skills so that I can get into the game industry. So I was searching the courses, the you can say the higher education courses. So from there I found Outscal. They were providing us 6 months of course, a full stack game development course. So I have searched about the courses, the subjects, and the programs they were teaching. So like they were teaching 2D game development, C++, then 3D, and at the end a multiplayer course. So I don't know about anything about the multiplayer. So that thing only attracted me towards the outcome because basic thing about 3D I know, basic thing about 2D I already know, but I don't know anything about the multiplayer. It was a node in Node.js. So that thing attracted me towards Outscal. So I asked my friend, he said that it is a good course, they will teach you important things. And in LinkedIn also, I connected with several students of Outscal, which were of first and second batch. So they also told me. Then I was having a trial classes regarding C++. Then in C++, it was completely online and I found it better than my college. So it was a detailed thing. The first thing that I have done was in detail. And they have also told me that how you can submit the assignment and the the Git thing, because that is the common thing used in the industry. Then when I jumped into 2D, I thought that I have a basic knowledge. I would not focus that on that much. But when they started teaching me 2D, I know that I don't have any knowledge, the one that I was thinking. So because they were teaching about the coroutines, about singletons and the other things, then I know that there are many things. And in 3D, there were more different topics like state machines, design patterns, observer, and other things. And that was all completely new to me. So at that time, it was like I was having pretty much interest in that because I was getting new learning. And at that time, if I was having any difficulty during the time also, uh, Outscal have already made the Discord channel. I used to put my questions, so within 1 hour, anyone would answer them, even if it is a student or a professor like Mayank and Shubham. I remember, but it was like my connectivity and communication were also getting increased because of that. Because previously I was kind of a bit shy in talking in group, but this I brushed up my skill in that as well. And multiplayer was a completely new to me. It was a bit hard, but it was like I was having completely interest. In the classes, it was like I was having no fear in asking any questions because 2 3 times I have asked a basic question to the professor and the Mayank teach me everything. So it was those 6 months were the I can say that my learning graph was completely increased. And after I graduated, I was into one internship in Zenita Studios as a gameplay programmer. And then again, an internship was there for me. But at that time, I thought that my skills were not that much good enough to be into a good gaming company. So I researched on internet. Then I found Outscal, and then Outscal were providing full stack game development course. I connected with the recent students of Outscal. They told me that it is a very good course, so I opted for them because one of my friend, his name was Navi. He had also done. He was, I think, in the first batch, and I was in the fourth batch. So he also suggested me, and then I look out for the courses. It was the important things that company uses, and from there I was placed into the game industry. So from there my journey started. Biggest challenge was me, like I am continuously weak in the designing part. So if I want to make a level design or any other thing, I take too much time because I'm always confused at how to make this. So I remember that during the 2D assignment, Mayank had told that you have to design everything by yourselves now because he had teach everything. So it was like what new things I can do because the best part in Outscal, it was like you can try everything, extra thing also that they hadn't teached as well because like I told you, it's up to us that we have to learn extra things also if we have to be in industry or brush up our skills. So he told that whatever you want to implement, you just implement. I will take it at the end at a look. So I was confused how to design a level. So at that time, I remember there was a video in Mario, which was like in every step there was a suspense, like the ground is getting destroyed or something is coming up, and it was a bit hard. So I thought that during this I should make a 2D game like this only. So it was a pretty much challenging because I was new to game development as in Unity. So I was like, how can I do it? But I talked with Mayank about that in the stand-ups and all. So he told me that be confident and implement whatever you can. He made me some confidence. Then it took some time to me that how to design a level with design patterns as well because I have to optimize the code as well because at the end if I want to describe I can create like example there was some places where I have to if I will land it will get destroyed immediately and I would die. So it was easy for me if I would create a simple script and assign it to that game object and it would get destroyed. So like several scripts made by this that would be easy, but they have also teach us design patterns and told us that you have to optimize the code, not make further scripts. You have to code in such a way that it can be used at other places as well. So it was a challenging part for me, but for because of that, I learned several things. So I was able to create less number of scripts, less number of mono behaviors for the suspense things. Like in the third level, which was I have a circle which is bouncing every day bouncing every time. So it would be like if I touch it, I will get killed, and if I go immediately afterwards, the enemy will suddenly spawn from at any places. So that was the most challenging part for me, but it was pretty fun, much fun. And at the end, like I told you, that my communication was not good. At the end, I have to present it with my batchmates also, and with Mayank also. And at that time, I was had a fear that maybe something is wrong or whatever, so everyone will notice it. But at that time, uh, it went well. So that was also happy for me during that time. So at the end of my course, there was a good thing that I was and other students were taking mock interviews of every other students. That thing I like because I don't know how to take an interview, but it was a pretty much fun also because I have to prepare myself also that how to take an interview. Even Mayank and the other mentors were also taking our interviews, but we were also taking the interviews of other students as well. After that, it was happening every day. Every day I was taking interviews of one or two people. It was around I think 1 or 2 weeks, and at the end, Mayank also took our interviews, and I don't remember his name, who used to teach us. He also had taken my mock interview, and after that, Satnamji updated us that he's started sending our resumes, our profiles to the companies. So there was one company, name is Simple Studios, that I got offer from, and I had given my interview as well. First, it was a coding test. Another, it was kind of a group discussion. In group discussion, I don't know, I didn't go through that well, but in uh, the coding test, I was cleared. So at that time, I was selected into the company. So they already told me that if they will give you any amount of offer, first don't accept it. Right? Increment a bit higher that I have a good skills. He was teaching everything. Like I still remember the question. I still use it with other companies that if a company asks you how much do you expect from us, right? In college days, I used to say around 3.5 or 4, like Infosys and TCS. But he told me never to give the answer this, never to answer this. Always say as per industry standard. Never say, because sometimes it's like company has a budget of 10 lakh, and you say that I am expecting 7 lakh. Then it will be in their favor because they will only give you 7 lakh. But even if they were giving a 10 lakh, so I still remember that thing. It is useful to me now as well. And after that, I was selected in the company, but still Satnamji used to connect with us that we have another companies for you and other things. But at that time they were during the on-site and I was having some problems. So during time at that time I was not able to perform give interviews of other companies because it was on-site jobs. It was because of personal reasons. So still they connected with me. I think in Simple Studios I have 2.9 years of experience. If I was having any difficulty in Simple Studios, like changing the salary or whatever, I used to connect with Mayank in Discord. He used to still help us and still ask us. I used to get emails, I think every week, to connect with the new batch student and talk with them. After that, I have done a part-time. It was kind of a part-time job with Outscal also, taking stand-up of a new batch students. So I used to tell them how their code is, how their other things is. So at that time, Mank also told us that how you should take interviews, that stand-ups and all. So that thing I like about Mank as well, and we also connect with each other during evenings, talk about how the industry is going, whether we are happy or not, and he always used to tell us that we have more jobs. If ever you want to apply, just tell us. We will start sending your resume. So I have, it's like 2.9 years. I have basically worked on the 2D projects, and the company was good, from which I was placed from Outscal because they were having a casual games and they were a big projects for phones. So it was kind of a good for me. currently I am working as a game programmer in Simple Studios, and when I've started it in Simple Studios, I was a junior game programmer, and after 1 year, I was promoted to game programmer. It was an intermediate, and from completely 2.9 years, I was working on casual games. There were two projects, Chef Diary and Pet Center. They both were casual. If a younger one asked me that he also wants to get into the game industry, and I remember that one time my neighbor uh, child asked me that yeah, I also want to become a game developer. So first, I would give a suggestion that in game developer there are many fields, because like youngsters don't know, they only think that they just want into the game industry. But in which field, I would ask them whether in which part they are good at, like game animator, narration, or programming and designing, artist, in which field. So if they are good, example, they are good in programming. So I would suggest them that keep your programming good, do everyday questions, so that you have, if tomorrow if some company gives you a question, you are able to do it completely, because it brushes up the skills also. Also, keep searching do some research in internet. What are the latest technologies? What are the future of game industry, and what are the new things that are coming in game development field? Try to have a basic knowledge about that. If you will getting an interest, that basic knowledge is gonna become in advance automatically, because it would be a learning curve. So I would suggest everyone that first find in which part you want to go and brush up their skills, and research is the most important part, I feel, because if like the seniors also, even the leads also keep researching in internet what problems are they facing, and internet is a source in which every information is available, whether it's your issue or whether what the new things are coming. So I would suggest youngsters about this.